Hold on. I got it. Hold your fucking horses.
Jesus Christ, I'm gone for 2 weeks.
Welcome to Beer Field. I am your host, Chris Hopper, at Hop134 with 2 P's on streams. As always, joined by Dan Thury and Ryan Miner. Gentlemen, how are you?
Good. I'm not on a thread, so you'll never see me there.
At Ryan Miner, _FFB, that other place.
Yeah, so I'll be always on Twitter because I'm just at that age where I just don't care about social media.
I have not. I started another one. I forgot who posted it. I think it was Alex that posted on Twitter that if everyone leaves, that's it. Fucking way.
I went to Threads because I want to be done with Twitter so bad. Like, not even politically. Just I have so many old group messages and such a plastered inbox and a timeline I don't care to see from all the follow threads and stuff early on that I'm like, let me start fresh.
Yeah.
Just let me start over.
No, I'm good. Social media is the devil. The devil.
Baba Boucher.
The devil.
Gatorade is the devil. All right. We're doing a Dynasty mock draft today. So we're going to do, there's hardly anything since last week. We had like 3 items to talk about before that, and the rest of this is going to be Dynasty Superflex mock draft. I lied. There's 2 items to talk about, and then the rest of this is going to be Dynasty Superflex mock draft. So before we do that, though, at Beerfield on Twitter, by the way, for the show, at Beerfield Hop with 2 P's there if you want, even though I'm pretty much maybe done with it. I don't know.
You come back. They always come back.
No, I don't. Once I'm done, I'm done. Once I'm out, I'm out.
What's fueling Beerfield?
By the way, is anybody else sad that this year's Scott Fishbowl scoring is like 4 years too late for Jameis Winston peak?
I haven't even looked at it.
No negatives.
No negatives?
There are no negatives for anything. That's what it is. There are no negatives.
So we're gonna call this the snowflake.
Oh,
We're calling this the snowflake score setting. No one. Everyone gets participation points.
No negatives. Everything else is pretty much the same as it has been in years past.
Jesus Christ.
Last couple of years, but no negatives in this one, which is awesome. He didn't say it's going to stay that way forever. He said he wanted to do something else fun this year, though. So,
I mean, I'm all for it.
That's what I mean. Like, we are 100% 4 years too late for peak Jameis Winston in these scoring settings. Can you imagine that fantasy season if you just took away all the negative fantasy points for Jameis Winston's 33 interceptions?
30 touchdowns, 30 interceptions, QB1. The QB1.
He would be. I'm here for it. Ryan, what are you drinking? You're being too quiet.
I am drinking Stone's Delicious Double IPA, which comes in at 9.4%.
Dan?
So with a new puppy, I'm trying to, mellow down a little bit.
Got a new puppy? Oh, yeah, you did get a new puppy. You sent that in a text message that I glanced at.
Yeah. So he's got a lot of energy. So he goes on like 2 to 3 mile walks every night. So he's a lot of work, but he's worth it.
Cute. Dan, what do you got?
I'm drinking, Hopper. I posted to you guys about this when I was in Cape Girardeau doing work. I was going to be on. I would have been on last week with this beer had the town of Springfield not be destroyed by a derecho. I am drinking Mindlewood Brewery, again, out of Cape Girardeau. This is their Hefeweizen that I said is one of the best ones I've ever had. Little different out of the can to start with. It's not super fresh anymore, but it's a half, doesn't matter. But having it on draft at the brewery was unfucking believable.
I have to get down there and try that. I got one of the best hefts I've ever had on tap, about 3 feet across the room from me.
Well,
I'm biased though.
True. And hefts are, you know, if you don't drink a lot of them, they're all gonna they'll taste the same. But once you drink enough, you start to notice the differences in some of them.
There's a lot of difference in the Banana Club balance in particular.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, I'm excited to hear about it. More excited to eventually get down there and try it. I've failed at everything beer related this week, other than having my own. I drank all the left hand Vienna I had in the fridge, and so all I've got left right now are barrel aged stouts in the house.
That's fine. It's only 90 degrees outside.
Lindsay was on vacation in Michigan, but instead of bringing me back beer, brought me back beer ingredients that I get to do something fun with, which I'm excited about. Gonna do some lavender and something, and then so that means is I am dipping into the bourbon this week.
Nice.
Davis County French Oak. I might have had this on before. I don't remember if I have. It's been a while. Davis County bourbons are made by Luxor Distillers, the same people that bring you Rebel and Ezra Brooks and Blood Oath and those guys. They actually just merged with MGP not that long ago, who also just scooped up Penelope. So all those brands are kind of under one umbrella now. But in any event, Davis County is kind of their mid-tier line. It's usually around $50 a bottle. They've got different expressions: regular bourbon, French oak, which is what I'm drinking now, port finish, light toasted oak. They do a double oaked every so often. So more what you're going to find their finishes in. So more in this little guy. They don't always come in the plastic bottles. This is actually from a blending kit we did with them a little while ago. So more on this about halfway through the show. Let's go ahead and hit what passes for news these days, because we're in the dead of the off season. First and foremost, multiple reports linking the Jets to Dalvin Cook. Now, this is interesting to me, not because I'm super intrigued by Dalvin Cook to the Jets, but because of what this says about Breece Hall. Immediately after some of the reports last week, hyping up, I don't remember the freaking rookie that landed there, but there were reports last week.
It was Pittsburgh's running back, Israel.
Abanikanda.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
I like him a lot.
So,
super high on him.
There were reports last week that were hyping him up, and now there are two separate reports, one from ESPN and one from Pro Football Talk. I usually discount Florio, but when you see multiple reports on something independently, then several days apart, probably some smoke there. They're linking the Jets to Dalvin Cook. Means maybe quietly they're not as optimistic about Breece Hall's ACL recovery.
So that means every AFC East team has been linked to Dalvin Cook in some shape, or form.
The Patriots?
Yeah, he wanted to play once news of Hopkins potentially landing there.
I missed
Cook
that.
mentioned wanted to play there because he wanted to play with
I knew
Hopkins.
the Bills were linked because of his brother, and Miami's been linked ever since the Vikings even gave an inkling.
I don't really think. I think that was more fan casting than I think.
I think it is too.
I think that was always more fan casting. But I mean, maybe I'm there with you, Hopper. I think there might be some underlying issues. It's not just been Cook. I thought I saw way back when Zeke was linked, not really linked, but mentioned as a spot. It just doesn't make sense, though. I mean, you've invested now 3 running backs in 2 years, 3 running backs in 3 years, all 2 of which were day 2 picks, one of which was a very high second-round pick. I guess 2 early thirds on these guys, and you still want to bring a veteran in who is clearly gassed at this point. Like, he's one of the least, like Cook was one of the least efficient running backs last year. Granted, Minnesota's offensive line was pretty mixed bag, but Cook is what his name suggests.
I mean, it's fine though too, because he had over like 1,500 yards and double-digit touchdowns still, but it just wasn't efficient enough to like look at it as a season long.
His metrics, like his advanced metrics, it's just
what I'm pulling up. I haven't actually deep dove that.
I think he's like a bottom 50 like running back in the league.
I think it was.
Categories.
I think his EPA, was pretty low. It's just
still top 15 in evaded tackles. Breakaway was low. Breakaway runs, he was top 15 in the counting stat, but a lot of volume there. Run blocking rating was 34th, which is not great.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He his back days at FSU.
Yeah. That was not great. And Yeah,
I don't think
pretty
anything
spread out
happens.
as far as the fronts he was seeing. So yeah, 61 stuffed runs led the league.
I don't think anything happens until in preseason. I'm
No.
not buying these. I'm not buying these reports that he goes there. I'm more buying that maybe Brees Hall isn't as expected to be ready as maybe what we've seen.
And the report, both of them also mentioned that he's still not expected to sign until sometime late in training camp. With
This is like
anybody.
Leonard
So,
Fournette. This is like
yeah.
Fournette back in 2020. Like it's to me, it's pretty
probably going to
obvious.
be Fournette and Zeke this year too, because you're waiting because you don't know what's going to happen in training camp too. You don't know what might open up because of injuries, or if a back pops an ACL on a contender or something like that. You don't know what's going to happen.
That's exactly what they want. They want.
That's why you wait.
Yeah. And running backs don't really need a lot of time within an offense. It's a very instinctive position to play anyways. So these guys don't need a lot of ramp up time. They don't need to build chemistry with their with their quarterback. It's the holes there. Let's just fucking run through it and go. So
right,
he's gonna fuck up a roster at some point. Between him, Zeke, and Fournette, they're gonna fuck up some roster, and they're gonna fuck up some 4th round pick that you shouldn't have spent a 4th round pick on.
Anything to add, Ryan?
Not really, no. I mean, Dan pretty much nailed that one.
Yeah.
So why waste it?
Welcome back.
Yeah.
Sure. All right. The only other one is an update on the Bengals and the Joe Mixon situation. So we've known the entire time they want to get out of the Joe Mixon contract. They have to get out of the Joe Mixon contract. It's why there's been a lot of. Well, it's why I'm high on Chase Brown. Let's put it that way. The Bengals, and they apparently they got some clarity around the. Well, we got some clarity around when this needs to happen. Tuesday before week 1, when veteran contracts become fully guaranteed, is how long it could take before that situation's resolved with Joe Mixon and the Bengals in the contract situation. That still could be a release. I don't think they wait until that late into training camp to release him if it comes to that. It could be an early camp thing. If they see that they're not going to get him to take a pay cut, it could be just a restructure and there's nothing of this. That's more of an update as you're watching this situation, as you're paying attention, maybe doing Dynasty startups. It's almost a certainty, however they restructure that. Mixon's not going to be there beyond the season, I would guess. So just something to take note of and keep an eye on. And I like Chase Brown over Travion Williams as far as next guy up, should that not resolve.
I think you just want some piece of this backfield. It's going to be one of the league's best offenses, playing against a lot of the league's other best offenses, so a lot of potential for shootouts. Should be fairly, friendly to running backs because they're going to be one of the more explosive offensive passing teams. So whoever you like, I would try to just take shots in the dark with your end of your bench stashes. It should be one of these backs. And just keep an eye on how this situation plays out.
Anything to add, Ryan?
I'm trying to see what the rankings are for Mixon right now, if he's actually still dropping, because he was dropping. Yeah, he's still dropping. He's on the RB23 right now, especially in Dynasty. So he's almost actually like an easy buy.
You don't want him. You got to be careful in Dynasty. Like,
I would take.
You got to be.
If you're a contending team, sure.
If you're a contending team, obviously, if you have them, you want to get out of them.
If you're building a startup to try to contend year 1, sure, and then cuff him with Chase Brown.
And then in redraft, as right now, and this is all based off Fantasy Pros, he is. Where's he at now? RB15, so that's not bad value right there either. For what could it actually be? No.
And you shouldn't be. You shouldn't be redraft drafting this early anyway, so should be. I just like looking at redraft once we get there, but still about a month out.
This is best ball.
I'm doing a best ball charity league right now.
Best ball's different. The best ball's different, but
and I took Mixon.
Traditional redraft though, you shouldn't be doing anything for at least another month.
Or did I take Mixon? I took Mixon in the 6th round, 605.
That's what I was gonna say. If he fell to you the 5th or 6th round, that'd be
he's in the mid to late teens.
Yeah, best ball makes a lot of sense.
Which I also took Dobbins and Bijan Robinson. So I'm not as I'm still
You're not super exposed.
I'm exposed, but not RB1 exposed to him.
Yeah, you're like RB3 exposed to. More
Yeah.
than fine.
Which is fine.
All right. Anything else on Mixon?
No.
Fantasy mock draft.
Hey, guys, look! It's the real Buzz Lightyear!
You're mocking me, aren't you?
Oh, no.
My goal is to get taken down by Disney.
Before episode 500.
Why don't you just move to Florida, Hopper?
Never. Not just that's not a political statement. That is a I don't want to live in Florida statement. There's hurricanes, there's alligators,
shades of both.
and it's fucking hot.
I know. I have no interest ever. I have no interest in ever going back to Florida, whether it be
But also,
vacation
yes,
or not.
I don't really either. All right.
I love Florida for vacation.
So we are drafting from the 6th spot. This is a 12-team Dynasty mock draft, superflex. So with 2 flex positions, 3 wide receiver, 2 running back, PPR, and so we are on the clock at the 106 is where we're going to start this from. By the way, if you're looking for fantasy team names, some of the more fun ones generated by Fantasy Pros, Pump the Drakes.
Ooh.
Yeah, I made some better
Pump
ones
the
this year.
Drakes?
Shut up, I don't care, Ryan. I'm talking about
this
theirs.
back in like 2013 when Kenyon Drake was a thing?
Shano number 5. To Infinity and Bijan.
That's bad. No.
Let's see. Some of these are for Netflix and
Infinity
chill.
and
That one's
Bijan.
classic. The Plot
Yeah.
Pickens.
I like that.
John and Chill.
That's a good song too.
And I don't like the rest of them. Anyway, some of those are clever. We'll do team names later. I know Ryan does stuff with team names and wants to talk about it, but we'll do that closer to redraft season. We'll have some bullshit filler episodes in there.
I did that 1 month ago.
Okay.
400 plus.
Okay.
I don't think I have any star stickers in here, but I would give you a gold one right there on your monitor screen if I had any.
How many more away am I from the free pizza?
Actually, can I react to you? What's that button do? Is there a gold star here? OG.
Does it send across the screen? Because that'd be even better yet.
Oh, yeah, it would if I had one. Oh, yeah, there is. There we go.
Oh, you got it.
I give it to you. Well, I got a gold star for the day. That's what matters.
You're the sheriff in town.
How do I get rid of that? There we go. Am I just going to have a gold star for the rest of the episode? All right. So started off Mahomes and Allen. Not that surprising there. 101. Mahomes, Allen, Hurts, Burrow, Lawrence is what the run started off as. So Trevor Lawrence going at the 105 right now, and this is all based on ADP, so we are in a draft simulator. Trevor Lawrence right now at the 105 is going ahead of Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert, Justin Fields, guys like that. Agree? Disagree?
I understand, but I'm with Ryan. I
Disagree.
he would fall behind Jackson and Herbert for sure for me.
Yeah, and
He'd still be ahead of Fields, but I love Lawrence. This is why, this is also why drafting mid to late in a startup or trading back if you possibly can. This is where a lot of dynasty strategy starts. Is a lot of people want to trade back. They want to optimize or they want to maximize their second, third, and fourth, fifth round picks. They want to get as much as they can by trading out of the first. That's a very popular strategy.
yes.
And a lot of that is because of the depth of quarterback, and wide receiver.
yes.
I mean, in the super flex league, it makes a lot of sense to try to, because we're at the 106. There's 2 guys we just talked about in both Herbert and Jackson that we can get this late. It's a strong showing.
Right. And then you also have the opportunity, should you choose to go the pick of anyone at any other position that you might want to.
Yeah.
So obviously, I think for all of us, Jackson and Herbert are in contention here. Any thought towards either Bijan or Taylor or McCaffrey? For Hall, we just talked about him in the injury, so I'm probably going to shy off a Hall. Well, it's Dynasty though.
Nope, no running back. I would.
Okay.
I am always securing my quarter. That's me personally. I'm always securing my QB1 as early as possible.
Exactly. Yep. Get it early and I'm always first round QB.
Yep, and I don't have a problem with that. So is it Jackson or Herbert for you guys? Dan?
I'm personally Jackson,
I figured.
and that's not just because I'm a Ravens fan. I'm also a huge fantasy upside fan, and that's with
I like
Jackson.
the
I also
upside.
love Herbert, and now appear with Kellen Moore
That's what I was gonna say.
in LA.
Paired with Kellen Moore.
I honestly, I'm fine with either pick. Like I said, I would take them both before Lawrence, and I would have been fine with Lawrence here too.
Yeah.
So
I'm on the Jackson side, which is probably going to surprise you guys to say, but I like the talent.
he got paid. There's that commitment.
He got
I mean,
paid.
I'm not surprised at all.
He got paid. They brought in a new OC who's, more pass oriented with Monken. They brought in Zay Flowers. You have Bateman. They signed Odell. Like, with Andrews still there, he has a lot better infrastructure around him right now than Herbert does with, Mike Williams, who I've considered a bust for a long time, and aging Keenan Allen, and raw Quentin Johnston to me. So I'm looking Lamar Jackson is my starting point here. I see the long-term allure of Herbert, but I think I would go for the right now over the 2-3 years.
Only one of these guys have got their extension. Herbert will. Herbert will.
Yeah,
I'm just
Jackson.
saying.
Yeah.
These guys are both going to be, 5, 6, 7+ year guys on these
So we're in
respected teams.
So we're in agreement. We're going Jackson here.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah,
Jackson went over Herbert.
fine.
I feel like
two out of
you
one.
can't go wrong with either
No,
one.
exactly. You can't go.
I
wrong.
feel the same about both of them.
Yeah.
All right. So after we take Lamar Jackson, Herbert goes immediately after that, followed by Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. So top 2 wide receivers go off the board. It pivots back to Deshaun Watson ahead of Justin Fields, which is interesting to me. I would not have Watson that high. Go ahead.
If you're a believer like I am, I'm a high believer in Watson for this year. So, but that's just this year, and I can see why people would take him so early, but just because they expect that pass offense to really actually take off this year.
Yeah. At the turn, Bijan and Taylor, which makes sense to me. McCaffrey right after that. So you had 3 running backs around the turn.
Okay.
And then you pivot back to wide receivers, Garrett Wilson, A.J. Brown, C.D. Lamb, and then Breece Hall going at the 206.
Interesting.
So
Wilson over Brown.
Yeah, Wilson over Brown's a bit interesting to me, but I can see why, I guess. C.D. Lamb is I think fine right there. I'd have no problem with those 3 running backs in any order really on the turn. Watson over Fields is the other one interesting to me. I'm fine with Breece there too in Dynasty. So what do we have available? If we wanted to go back quarterback right now, your top available are going to be Dak Prescott, Anthony Richardson, Kyler Murray, Bryce Young, Tua, C.J. Stroud, Daniel Jones, and then you get into some of the more raw passers. So you're kind of in this either a rookie that you believe in or there's some intrigue left with, maybe Prescott or Murray. Murray coming off the ACL, though. You go to running back, you're looking at Saquon, Jahmyr Gibbs, ETN, Josh Jacobs coming off of the 300 carry season, Ramondre Stevenson, Austin Eckler, Najee Harris, Nick Chubb, Javonte Williams, J.K. Dobbins. The wide receiver front, it's Waddle, Amon-Ra, Chris Olave, Tyreek Hill, Devonta Smith, Stephon Diggs.
Oof.
I'm probably leaning running back here, personally. Quarterback, I think that you've burnt enough of the value off the board to where, I don't feel pressed into taking one of the guys that are left. If I was going to go quarterback, I would probably be looking at somebody like maybe Tua or potentially one of the rookies. Running back, I think, is intriguing to me with Nick Chubb still on the board. With Josh Jacobs is in a contract year, so that's kind of an immediate payoff. Jameer Gibbs being there. You could go young if you wanted to. Kenneth Walker's still there. So there are some young guys that popped off last year that are still on the board. And then wide receiver, I think there's still a lot of depth available, personally.
See, I think a fun one we do here is try the stack and add Mark Andrews with Lamar Jackson, because I think this offense will take off as a pass offense. And Mark Andrews has shown, and he has been the tight end one already in this league. So who says he can't bounce back and do it again this year?
I don't want to go tight end in the second round of a dynasty draft with no tight end premium in a one tight end league.
Yeah, that's where I do like where your head's at. That was also one of my thoughts. It's maybe around 3 or round 4. Ryan is to try to.
You don't have to jump for him this quick, I don't think.
But I
like the idea though. I think it's early on it.
Because I don't know if he's going to come back in the third round. Because if we say we pass on him, I would like to go with. I would say we're doing PPR, right?
PPR. I'm okay with missing on Andrews too, though. That's the other thing. There's so much. Everything's so clustered at the tight end position after the top 2 that I'm okay with missing on one of the top 2 tight ends. I'm more concerned about missing out on a running back with any type of volume than I am in missing out on one of the top 2 tight ends.
Who are the running backs again, Hopper? Give me the running backs again.
Okay, your running backs again are going to be Barkley, Gibbs, Etienne, Jacobs, Pollard, Walker, Stevenson, Eckler, Harris, Chubb, and Dobbins, and then there's kind of a teardrop.
Oh boy.
I'd be too scared, nervous right now, especially if I'm drafting today. Like as we're doing this draft right now, I'd be passing on Barkley and Jacobs just because they're not signing their contracts. They're both threatening to sit out. For here, I'd go safe. I'd take the rookie Gibbs.
I'm leaning Etienne.
I don't know how I quite feel about running back.
Sure. Wide receiver, you get a little bit more longevity.
Wide receiver, I have no issue waiting on. I'm almost second QB. With it being super flex. But it's Dak would be Dak's one that sits in mind. The loss to Kellen Moore is going to sit into the offense efficiency and the potent offensive output. I'm fine waiting on and trying to lean into one of the rookies or trying to get a discount Kyler.
So we agreed for one pick.
This is what I mean. Yeah, this is where startup happens. It sounds like you guys want to go running back. So
I'm with Hopper in this because I don't see
that's fine.
The benefit
100%.
of going quarterback here.
There's no real benefit with running back because you have aging vets that have gotten a lot of work. So you can go for the win now mode and you go with Saquon. You can try to go with the young semi undersized guys like Etienne. Explosive offense, but is he going to be a full-time work guy?
Right now, I believe it. I don't like anybody else that's there. So
that's it's
that's what you're going to be at running
receiver.
back, though. And the problem is if you get much down with that, you look up and down the wide receiver list, that doesn't get solved the further down you go.
No, it's not, right? It's going to be
you
try to get one home run and then you punt the position and try to fill up with a bunch of guys who could hit. Then you're trying to build through the rookie draft, which is what I would typically do.
You could just jump at a Waddle or an Olave too.
I would jump at St. Brown.
I would honestly, I wouldn't look at receiver now just because of the amount of depth we get.
I don't necessarily want to look at receiver now.
Either.
I think that the parity amongst the running backs is going to fall quick because it always does versus your quarterbacks. That's me.
Yeah. Oh my God.
You guys think way too hard on this.
This is straight back.
Either way,
I go with my gut feeling. Yeah, because I like when it comes to me, my draft strategy, if I can't trade out of it, I start picking picks, and I don't come in that mindset of I'm building to win now, or I'm building to
be
kind of mediocre but have ready to rebuild. It's I start drafting, and as I draft, I start realizing, like, okay, this is gonna be a rebuild team, or hey, this is a now team, and then I change the strategy.
I can
there.
tell you, I can tell you right now that I like to go in and coming out of my top 4 rounds, I want to have both quarterbacks and a running back in some fashion there. And I think thinking about what we're drafting is right. We're drafting computer. I really think you're going to see with only 4 backs off the board, you're going to start to see a run on running backs after this pick.
I would go Barkley if we're gonna go running back. I'm gonna go for the more guaranteed production for this year, and not just production but usage.
I'm okay with Barkley production for this year. You got value to trade away if the wheels fall off, and quite honestly, that offense is headed the right direction. It'd be between him and ETN for me.
I like Gibbs.
I think
Gibbs is.
I'm not going.
I think Gibbs is
a rookie undersized back though.
I do think if you go Gibbs, you're punting for next year, and that's the hopes of. He has this entire offense to himself. I would honestly, I like having a piece of the running back room. I would rather take Montgomery than, 3 or 4 rounds later.
Yeah,
and to try to hope that he has a law and stay there. That's I like to have a strategy of what do I want to accomplish for my team for this year, or for next year, or for 2 or for 3 years, right? Am I going for a win now build? Am I going for a 1 year out build, or am I going for a 2+ year?
I don't decide that. I'm kind of hybrid between this, right? Ryan said he didn't think about it. You're thinking about it really early.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking about it
all.
until about the middle of the draft. I'm going to see where the value lands in the first 6 to 8 rounds, and then I'm going to see what I have as I fill out the rest of the roster on do I need to take up shots that guys can trade. Like if I got a lot of young guys, then I'm going to look to fill with, maybe I'm a year or 2 out and fill with guys that I can use to pad draft. If I got a lot of aging guys, like if I go Saquon this round and then I end up with, say, I don't know, say Dak maybe is my QB2, or a Derrick Henry, or a Saquon Barkley, and then we get to wide receivers and I'm staring at Stephon Diggs is my best value, then I'm going to start building for win now behind that. I don't really think about it this early. I do think about it, but not this early.
Well, that's the nice thing about with Saquon is that it's win now, it's 1 year out, and I don't know if it's 2+, but it's running back. You don't really think 2+ years off running back anyways, right?
I'm okay with Saquon. Like I said, be Saquon or ETN for me. Who's your top 2 running backs available, Ryan?
I'm still Gibbs and probably ETN.
And Dan, you were
I would be Barkley. I would be Barkley, ETN.
So ETN's the commonality?
That's more of a teardrop for me, but yeah, that's fine. Yeah, let's go. We can go. ETN.
That's the commonality across all 3 of us. We all had a different other player, so. And it's a mock draft. All right, sure as shit. No quarterbacks went.
Perfect.
After that,
that feels great.
Called that right. So no quarterbacks went after that. Saquon Barkley went the next pick immediately. And then Waddle, Jahmyr Gibbs, and then Olave. So we were sniffing around the right players there. Kenneth Walker, Najee Harris, and then Higgins, Amon-Ra, Devonta Smith, Tony Pollard. So now there's 5 wide receivers that went. You've got Tyreek and Stephon Diggs, so you're staring at older wide receivers there. With Tyreek, Diggs, and Cooper Kupp, and Devontae Adams being among the top available. You're looking Drake London, DK Metcalf, JSN, DJ Moore is and Godwin is some of your younger guys there at wide receiver. On the quarterback side of things, you still are sitting Dak, Bryce, Tua, Stroud, Jones, that tier. To kick off the discussion, I start to get concerned here about top flight wide receiver depth going away. You've lost your young guys in a dynasty. Age matters to me. You've got some top flight older guys that are left. And then, some tweeners and the likes of Moore or Godwin or that you can wait, or like an Ayuk, Pittman, Debo types that you can wait to come back around to you. But here's where I start to get nervous about the wide receiver depth that's left available if you don't get in on it now.
So for me, like I look at like a dynasty, like fantasy football leagues as, and we've heard a lot of them not being any more than 3 years long. So sometimes I look at it and go, okay, you know what? This league could be 2 years. This could be a 3-year league. I'm looking 3 years out max. There's one player who said he's going to retire after his contract. At this point, I would go with Tyreek Hill over Stephon Diggs, just because like the kind of things we've been hearing from Diggs over the last couple of months about his feelings of Buffalo. Yeah, he's been there at OTAs and stuff, but what he did off the field, on the field, on the sidelines last season, kind of showed like he was kind of frustrated with that team. Where Tyreek Hill, like,
he's a competitor.
He's got that speed. Yeah, he's a cheetah. He's got that speed. He's out there. He's going to catch that ball.
No, that's not about Diggs. Diggs is a competitor. He was frustrated about coming close again and falling off of that, and I get that. But that's what you got here, right? You've got Hill retiring at the end of his contract, Diggs, who's on the wrong side of 30 and kind of getting frustrated where he has, Kupp, who's on the wrong side of 30, Adams, who's on the wrong side of 30, who are all still high producers, and then it's a London, DK who fell off, and JSN. And I think the other guys, you have a strong enough chance they come back around to you if you're okay with running like a DJ Moore, Chris Godwin, or a Michael Pittman is your wide receiver one. I'm not.
I don't think there's any value at receiver here if you're looking for that. You just mentioned a lot of the red flags for the older guys, all of which, if you're going for just 1 year of production, probably Diggs, probably Cheetah, Adams. Long term within after this year is unknown, and their value drops. I would still punt. I would still be fine punting receiver. Like, we missed out.
If Hill's gonna play out his contract, you've got 3 years on Hill. If he plays his contract, which is what he's saying. He's 29, so you've got him until 32. Diggs is 29 right now. He's signed till he's 34 with no out until a year from now, which is still a boatload dead cap.
We're going to have 14. We're at the 306. We have, it should be 13 picks until we're on our way back. Math, right?
Well, and I think that there's a chance one of those guys comes back around too. We just mentioned a bunch of aging guys. If you're worried about it, there is a chance that one of those aging guys makes it back around to us. And if not, your consolation prize is DJ Moore, which I'm also okay with.
Yeah, I'm not okay with DJ Moore.
What'd you say, Ryan?
I'm not a fan of DJ Moore.
So that's also because I'm not. Are you a fan of the idea that one of Hill, Diggs, Kupp, or Adams comes back around?
No, I don't see them coming back around. I see them being gone by then.
So you're wide receiver, Dan, your quarterback, I'm guessing.
I would go. I like the idea of another QB1 in Dak. Brian's brought up Mark Andrews, trying to go for the stack. You get our tight end.
Can't go Andrews. Can't go Andrews or Kelsey, who are both hanging out there, and that kind of solves the wide receiver debacle as well. So add those to your wide receiver mix of those four aging wide receivers, right? If you start to think tight end one, you've got 13 picks and 6 guys that you're banking on potentially coming back around there at just the tight end position. You also still have Jacobs, Eckler, Chubb, Dobbins available at running back. A handful of those are likely to go. I kind of like the idea that a wide receiver or a tight end that I like as my top pass catcher is going to make it back around.
Or if they don't, you're going to get value at running back coming down.
Right.
Like there's going to be more quarterbacks. We're not going to see another run of no quarterbacks.
Yeah, it's basically
what we have left is guys that they have upside. These guys, I'm surprised that I'm actually shocked.
Dak and Tua are the last two that I'm comfortable with. Then you get into rookies and middling. But am I okay with the Daniel Jones as a quarterback too? Am I okay with Bryce Young as a quarterback too? I think probably.
Jared Goff as a quarterback too.
Shut
maybe.
up. Just
Russell
kidding.
Wilson.
Not really.
I mean, there's a lot of
Yeah.
ugly as you get down in this too. I think I kind of agree with Dan here. After looking at what is likely to come back around wide receiver, tight end, I think I kind of agree with Dan here and going back.
I'm actually hoping that Mark Andrews makes his way back. And the best way to pick a value in the mid rounds is wide receivers.
So let's
And
go.
you can make moves for these for these second contract receivers at the end of this. Like we're not building to win
This
week
is-
1 in
this-
July.
This is why you mock. Let's go Dak and see what happens. You good with that, Ryan?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's
Mock
see what
draft.
happens.
Let's see where we.
Just make the fucking pick.
Yeah. Go with who we want.
let's have some fun.
All right. Kelsey made it back to us.
Oh!
Andrews
Oh.
did not. So here's what we
That's
got.
a win now move right there already.
Yeah,
So
I
here-
would do that.
Here's what we got.
Yeah,
Going right after that pick was Austin Eckler, and then
Okay.
Murray, and then Kyler Murray, the ACL, Anthony
it.
Richardson, which I think is early, but whatever, that's me. Hill
What's
and
the upside?
Hill and Diggs went back to back, not unexpected there.
Nah, that's spot on.
Then Bryce Young at the end, Josh Jacobs, Cooper Kupp, Mark Andrews, Ramondre Stevenson, Devontae Adams, Nick Chubb. So
1 out of 6.
what we're looking
That's
at here, is you're down to that next tier of wide receivers that we kind of called out. Travis Kelce is still available, as is Hawk, as is Pitts, as is Kittle, by the way, if you're keeping track of those. At wide
God,
receiver,
Hawk.
at running back, you're basically down to J.K. Dobbins, Derrick Henry, and then a significant drop off to the next tier guys.
Oh,
Your next tier guys, by the way, where I said significant drop off behind Dobbins and Henry, is Damian Pierce, DeAndre Swift, Rashad White, Miles Sanders, Cam Akers, Joe Mixon, Aaron Jones, Zach Charbonnet, David Montgomery.
I still like Miles Sanders because his contract value is definitely like he's like a 3-year back basically for Carolina. But by the way, his structure is. Let's see if I can pull it up real quick.
those are all clumped. Henry's age. Like at
Henry's
some point, it's the
age,
Marshawn Lynch thing.
Dobbins
It's
contract. Yeah.
the fact that Dobbins, who knows, like I would take Dobbins over. I would take Dobbins over all the running back stuff, but I'm also not keen. I'm also very keen on just, I wouldn't say punting, but
Waiting.
waiting and going after,
See what comes
more
back around.
ambiguous backfield running backs, guys that I can hammer in and then
So
just ride ETN as my RB1 and just fill spots later on for running backs.
So
I
we're
love Kelsey.
between
Yeah,
Kelsey,
I love Kelsey too.
Dobbins.
This is a
and
win
Moore.
now roster. This is to
Yeah.
me through 3 rounds. This is a win now roster.
All right, Kelsey, it is.
And
Yeah,
obviously, at some point
I
you're
gotta
gonna have
pick.
to. At some point, you're gonna have to figure out your backup tight end. This is one tight end league, right? There's
One tight end league.
you can trade for tight end if you need to. You can probably trade Kelsey plus for like the Dallas Goddard and something if if your team's not winning.
All right. So after Kelsey, Damian Pierce, Kyle Pitts, DK Metcalf, Calvin Ridley, Drake London, Christian Watson, White, Williams, Henry, DJ Moore. Does that mean J.K. Dobbins came all the way back around?
Is he there?
I think so.
Yeah, J.K. Dobbins came all the way back around in that. So it's
Make it.
Dobbins, Swift, Sanders, Akers. Wide receiver wise, JSN, Godwin, Addison, Ayuk, Judy, Pittman, Debo. Still 3 wide receiver. We still have none. I think you got to go Dobbins here.
I would go
Positional
Dobbins
value
here.
at that point. Dan, you
Yeah,
agree?
Absolutely.
It's a win now move. Throwing up your running backs.
All right.
It's to go all in. This is
We're
an
gonna
all in
have
draft.
shit at wide receiver though.
That's where the value plucks from, man. You don't need to have tough
There
fight
ain't
to
gonna
win.
be fucking value left. All right.
Oh,
see.
there's plenty of value left right now. I can see it all over the board as I'm scrolling down on it.
All right. We could probably share this on YouTube, actually.
I thought about saying something until I
You
was like,
should-
fuck it.
You should have.
I should have. I know I should have. I was like, nah, we're fine.
There you go. All right, now we are
You didn't.
because it's sharing to you guys. We're not doing that. Never mind. I could do it, but I got to do a lot more shit. No, I'll do that right now.
We're not going that far. That's too much
Yeah.
work.
All right. After that, Jesus, there were 8 wide receivers that went after that.
8?
8.
8?
Wow.
God damn.
So
Oh, that's fine.
after that, Traylon Burks, DeAndre Swift, Hawk, Mixon, and then JSN, Godwin, Pittman, Dalvin Cook, Jerry Jeudy, Debo, Terry McLaurin, Marquise Brown. What we have at
I
wide
was hoping
receiver.
McLaurin would have made it.
What we have at wide receiver right now. Oh my God, that's ugly.
I dropped down the next tier of wide receivers.
Jordan Addison, Brandon Ayuk, Quentin Johnston, Jahan Dodson, Jamison Williams, who's suspended for 6 games, Zay Flowers, Deontay Johnson, Amari Cooper, Christian Kirk, George Pickens, DeAndre Hopkins, Bateman, Williams, Keenan Allen, Mike Evans, Kadarius Toney, Elijah Moore.
So basically, this could be a spot where you just try to just make
Stack.
shift your not just stacks, but also make shift your wide receiver room. Again, regardless of how you build your team, at some point you're going to have lackluster. You're going to leave a position behind, right? We forgo wide receiver, which is the easiest position to make up production from, just given the depths of the of all the league runs their their offenses and stuff like that. So it looks bad, but it could definitely be worse. We could be staring at
I would totally be
just a
out on
horrendous
this.
QB2.
I would totally personally be out on this strategy, by the way, at this point in the draft. I would not draft like this if it were me individually. Seeing how this fell, I would be so out on this, it's not even funny.
You would have gotten Diggs or Hill with that third pick, wouldn't you?
Yes.
So what have I? But what do I know?
Yes, I would have.
But this is fun. Like that. I would like because
no quarterback's gone since that 3rd round. I would have gone Diggs or Hill, and then still had an option to get Tua or Daniel Jones as my QB2. This is why we mock.
Damn
All right.
it, Dan.
So what wide receiver are we taking?
All my fault.
You just want to
I'm
punt
dro-
it,
I,
or do we want to
I
punt
would
that a
drop
few
down.
more rounds?
I would punt it because I think you get another one in the next round.
Okay.
I mean-
what are you punting for?
What are the running backs left?
Miles Sanders,
It-
Cam Akers, Aaron Jones, Zach Charbonnet, David Montgomery, Isaiah Pacheco,
So what I'm
The
saying
idea-
is, again, we're still in a
Uh,
win-down strategy.
Alex Madison.
Ew. I'm not an Alexander Madison fan.
Neither am I. I almost think it's Miles Sanders.
Yeah,
Again,
that's where I would go.
It's more like
I see a couple wide receivers down that I can see falling.
I just
to us
took-
that
I
would-
see.
I-
I see a lot of
I just-
movable pieces. If
I just
this team
took
can't win
Sanders.
games.
I just took Sanders.
I'm just fed up.
I'm just
No,
pissed. at
no
this point.
no explanation needed.
I'm just pissed at this point.
Oh
I'm
my
not
God.
pissed.
Hey, Hey, look.
You wanted to take Dak. You could have took a receiver there at 3.
Yeah,
Hey,
you're the
look.
one that quick drafts. We didn't quick draft.
6 more wide
It's
receivers.
all your fault.
It's a democracy. 6 more wide receivers went.
It's a danocracy, apparently.
6 more wide receivers went.
The hopocracy.
Addison, Dotson, Johnston, Pickens, Akers, Herbert, George.
Khalil Herbert went that high?
It's the 7th round, but yes.
Still, Jesus Christ.
George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, Deontay Johnson. Our top wide receivers right now are suspended Jamison Williams, Zay Flowers, Christian Kirk, Nuke, Bateman, Williams, Allen, Evans. Might as well start drafting old wide receivers.
That's rough. Mike Evans.
Amari Cooper's already gone.
No, he's there. I don't like Cooper, though.
I love Cooper.
I'm full out on Cooper.
Good
Well, we
for
can
you.
try to
Dan?
decide which Ravens wide receiver to go with to build some sort of stack, but
Is it, well,
that's not really
I'm not
that's not really
really-
a risk I want to take
don't
as my
really-
wide receiver 1. I was hoping Ayuk or Johnson would have made it back. At least give us some volume receivers.
maybe
We
Keenan
have
Allen.
Amari Cooper.
We could go Keenan. He's probably gonna. I mean, I don't know how much. I'm expecting some dip not maybe first part of the season. I mean, we also would have our fictional draft picks to make wide receiver moves during at the end of the drafts.
And you said, did you say Mike Williams is already gone, or is Mike Williams still there?
I'm not drafting Mike Williams.
He's not. I promise you won't take. I wouldn't. I
would go Amari Cooper, but that's just personal preference.
Convince me. Why? Not in hypotheticals. Give me stats.
Give you stats?
I don't like hypotheticals.
You don't like hypotheticals? So he finished as, wide receiver, I think 10 or 12 in that range. Yes, he sucked when he was on the road, but he was awesome when he was at home in basically every game. Finishing with 78 receptions off 132 targets. Mind you, that wasn't with a full Deshaun Watson, who only played the final 6 games of the season. Played like total shit, but Cooper was also able to get a 105-yard game out of him, 72-yard game, a 51-yard game, and in that 3-game area, got 2 touchdowns in 1 game.
5th in air yards, 7th in air yard share, 12th in deep targets, 3rd in unrealized air yard shares. You have a big play receiver with a year 2 Watson.
I'm convinced.
26% target share, 26% target rate.
Both
are good for touchdowns.
There's got to be nobody I love here, so I'm convinced.
Cooper. I may have talked myself into a Cooper in redraft. I don't want him in Dynasty.
I think I might have talked myself into Cooper in redraft too. It's a win now team though. So
you're again win now.
Cooper.
Look at that. We found a wide receiver 1 in the 7th round.
I flipped Hop too.
It wasn't that hard.
That's actually a true milestone.
Well,
I don't know how many players I've ever flipped.
Depends on how stuck I am in a take.
We're making Hopper uncomfortable by drafting this team. It's going to make him all better for it. We all become better drafters because of this debacle.
All right. After that, Christian Kirk, Zach Charbonnet, Dallas Goedert, DeAndre Hopkins, Mike Evans, Rashad Bateman, Pat Freiermuth, Evan Ingram, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, A-Chain, James Cook. So I'll give you your best availables right now. Quarterback, it's still Tua, Daniel Jones, Stroud, Cousins.
They're still available?
Yeah. Running back, it's David Montgomery.
Hindsight 2020, I would have loved to have Tua at this point.
And I would have loved to have had Hill. There we go.
Hindsight. How the fuck is Tua there in the 8th round? Explain to me that, Hopper.
I don't know.
You would have taken him in the 4th round.
I know. I don't know.
I'm just hindsight changes. Like again, hindsight. I would have not have taken a Dak Prescott in the 3rd, and I probably wouldn't have taken Travis Kelce in the 4th.
All right, let's restart the draft in the 6th spot again and go back to the 3rd round.
That's how you really do Dynasty Simulator drafts.
I don't like the look at this. We're going to restart it.
Or you just finish all. We just talk about our team that got drafted.
All right. We'll do that here at about round 12. How about that? All right. David Montgomery, Isaiah Pacheco, Kendre Miller, Alex Madison, Alvin Kamara. I mean, there's still guys here in the running back row. You figure are going to get some volume with Montgomery, Pacheco, Madison. I like the upside of Miller and Kamara. The Saints are probably going to run a lot. So, still got 4 or 5 guys at running back that, you could stack behind Sanders, Dobbins, and ETN. If you're looking wide receiver, you still have Zay Flowers and Kadarius Toney available. Is higher end guys. You also still have Tyler Lockett, Gabe Davis. Cortland Sutton's still out there. Juju's out there, who should be the one for the Patriots.
I like Zay Flowers here. I like trying to get our first stack.
You still have Brandon Cooks hanging out there too later.
Which I'm also fine with later on in the draft. You can go running back and really secure it.
I would probably try to go. Well, you're 2 running back. I don't know. You can go running back and really secure it, which gives you trade chips for wide receiver, or you can try to, get as many chips for wide receiver here as you can with a guy like Zay Flowers or a Toney or a Davis, some guy that has some perceived upside there. But you also have some perceived floor coming around later with guys like Lockett and potentially Sutton and Juju and Cooks.
I sound like such a homer because I'm like down for Montgomery because after that, like Cook's a free agent. Pacheco, I feel like it's gonna be a hot hand approach in Kansas City. We don't know the truth about Alexander Madison other than the couple games we've seen when Cooks didn't play, but
He's
like,
never started back-to-back games in his career.
No.
Nope, we're not
Yeah.
drafting Madison on this team.
No.
James Cook, and you don't know how that team's gonna be with Buffalo. Kendrick Miller and Alvin Kamara. Yeah, no, I don't know because is Alvin Kamara really gonna miss 6 games? Is he gonna miss more?
Yeah, no, I don't know. That was perfect, Ryan.
No, I like Kendra Miller, but not in the 8th round of a startup.
I also just don't love that Saints. I mean, fuck, you're talking about potential value in Michael Thomas late rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That dude ain't going away quietly.
I do like the David Montgomery pick here and really solidify the running back room, and then we can just kind of forget about it for a little bit.
I'm good with
Yes.
Monty or Zay Flowers here.
We'll go Monty.
See, I'm not comfortable with Zay Flowers. Just rookie wide receivers.
I just
don't
like to have some sort of like inject. That's the one piece you can be like, all right, if he hits, he's gonna hit.
Yeah, but OBJ's there later, and we can see if he falls.
I don't. OBJ makes it 3 games and he's done. So
Win now, team.
Yeah.
After
use my own words against me.
after Monty, Jamison Williams, Jose Flowers, Greg Dulcich, David Njoku, AJ Dillon, Elijah Moore, Isaiah Pacheco, Kadarius Toney, Chika Kwankwo, Darren Waller.
Wait, does Zay Flowers make it back to us?
No,
Oh, damn it!
he went 2
missed
picks
that name.
after.
Oh,
So
is Bateman still there?
no.
No, did he go?
Yep. You got Tyler Lockett, Gabe Davis, Marvin Mims, Jaden Reed, Cortland Sutton, Juju, Jonathan Mingo's here.
Ooh, hey now.
Josh Downs, Jacoby Myers, Brandon Cooks.
It's not Gabe Davis. Just throwing that out there.
Not Santa Claus.
Not Santa Claus. I don't think he's going to be much Santa Claus
It's
this
not
year.
Sutton to me.
It's not Sutton.
No.
Juju gives you floor. We're trying to solidify a team that starts 3 wide receivers, and we only have one.
Juju's in New England though. I don't like that.
I also don't love New
Okay,
England's passing
so
team.
what about Cooks, who I think also gives you floor and is in Dallas as the 2?
Yeah, that's not bad. It's like I like it between him and Tyler Lockett. Like I don't see Tyler Lockett fading away this year.
Do you see Geno fading away?
No, I can almost kind of see him staying the course of where he is.
I really
which would
don't.
be a value.
Cooks is younger.
I'm also not
I
on
think.
board with Lockers. I think Locker could be a first half play, then it's more Jason and Metcalf.
I like Cooks here. If looking at the structure of the team and what we're trying to do, I think I like Cooks here.
I wonder if Cooks can make it back.
Maybe. Who else would you go with?
I the only other argument would be Juju because he's a wide receiver 1. You get another 1.
Do you
There's
need
insulated volume there,
2
but
of that type though, or do you want to go with the younger upside guy? You could also look tight end. There's a run on them.
No.
Dalton Kincaid, Michael Mayer, Sam Laporta, Cole Kmet, Dalton Schultz.
no, that's I would rather. I'm
one
waiting.
one tight end league though. So
Yeah,
wide
I'd wait.
receivers.
No, there's no need for us to go
Where
tight end.
you're at, and I think you only need one of the type. I mean, I don't know. I would rather go Cooks than Juju. I think there's more upside there with similar floor.
So it's Cooks, Juju,
Lockett or the really
Lockett.
the
Who are the other
debating right now.
receivers? Who are the other ones?
Gabe Davis, Marvin
No.
Mims, Jaden Reed, Cortland Sutton, Jonathan Mingo,
God, Jesus
Josh
Christ.
Downs, Jacoby Myers, Brandon Cooks. Yeah, you see why I'm like pissed we waited on wide receiver?
Well, no, because there's still going to be value. We're still going to find production.
Right. We're
Again, it's we can also trade one of our 4 running backs for a receiver or a first round pick. Ugh.
I'm Cooks.
Brian, who are you? You're Lockett, right?
I'm still Lockett. Yeah.
God. I'll go
But it's-
Cooks if it's between those 2.
Yep.
I think Cooks could be back there. I honestly think Cooks could be there in the way back. his age, and there's still a lot of rookies. You're gonna get a lot of teams. I know this is
Here, let's
computer.
let's do it then. Let's go lock it and see if Cooks comes back. Why not?
Please tell me I'm sure. I would have probably just gotten a rookie receiver, but
He came back.
is he there?
Oh,
I was right. I figured he'd be back. He's always undervalued and undermined.
Are we going Cooks now? They give you Cooper.
Who
Lockett,
went in
Cooks.
between? Just
Who went in
give us a
between?
quick overview.
Gabe Davis
just-
went right after. Dalton Schultz, Cole Kmet,
Fuck outta
Jacoby
here,
Myers,
Gabe Davis.
Jawan Johnson, Cortland Sutton, Juju Smith-Schuster, Kamara, Connor, Brian Robinson, Kendre Miller, Nico Collins.
wow,
That's
how'd you
cool.
fall behind Nico Collins?
Just go Cooks.
I'm fine with the Cooks. And we get our stack. Yay.
Right?
I do love my stacks. Give me that wide
Right.
receiver 3. Brandon Cooks.
Now, this will probably be the last round we pick. It's only a 17-round draft. We're going to pick 11th and then fill out the rest.
Okay.
So, after Cooks, Dalton Kincaid, and then Alex Madison, C.J. Stroud finally went. Algier, Antonio Gibson, Damian Harris, Odell Beckham, Jamal Williams, Elijah Mitchell, Rashad Penny. Couple options here. We've only got 2 quarterbacks right now.
Yep.
Tua's still there.
What?
Yeah.
Are you sure superflex?
Why else would you have a run of 7 quarterbacks to start?
How is Tua there? Boy, hindsight's real. I feel like
I feel like I got
the
ripped
answer is
off.
Tua, regardless of what you do. The answer was Tua 2 rounds ago.
Right?
That's you talking about value, Ryan. I'm sure you would agree too. There's so much
Yeah, it's
potential movement.
It's definitely super flex. They just double
And
checked
again, I
myself.
wouldn't have gone Dak in the 3rd or Pitts in the 4th had I known
If you
the
knew that
value of
Tua and
quarterback.
Daniel Jones and Kirk
Guys like
Cousins and
Goddard
Jared
was there like
Goff
2 or
and-
3 rounds after
Yeah.
Kelsey went. Like,
All right, I'm taking Tua.
Yes.
Right?
how the
Finally,
fuck
we all
is
agree on
Tua
something.
there? That's so stupid.
It was
Fuck
meant to
you,
be.
automated computers.
Right?
That's such.
Also, no quarterback went. My strategy here is just stack the rest of the quarterbacks and then sell them off.
It wouldn't work because apparently they don't value any of the quarterbacks after they drafted 1 or 2 of them.
Oh, there's a redo option.
Oh yeah. You can revert back to wherever you want to go.
Why didn't I do that?
We're starting
We're
over
going
at the
back to
3rd
the
round
third
again.
round.
Start going. We're gonna go
We're another
Tyreek
45
Hill,
minutes.
and then know that Tua's there in round 9. That's so unreal.
All right, I'm
that would
gonna-
never happen.
I'm gonna do a beer review.
Okay.
Beer review.
Also, that was round 11 where Tua was still there, not round 9.
That's so fucking stupid.
That is so stupid.
That's
I
awesome.
hate this goddamn.
There's no.
See?
This is the flaw in this, right? There's no quarterback that went between the 3rd round and C.J. Stroud in the 10th. Not a
Yeah, something
goddamn
happened
one.
there. Something got fucked up there.
Some glitch.
Yeah,
So
something-
someone put the decimal in the wrong place.
something's up there, Fantasy Pro. Somebody's got a comma in the wrong spot. Somebody talk.
All right, I'll go.
I know what you're
Again-
doing.
We're doing a beer
Beer
review.
review. The drop just
The drop
happened.
literally says beer review.
No, I thought he was reading it or something. I'm like,
I'll
okay.
I'll start. I got it. Again, I'm
Just-
drinking
hold on.
Mingle Woods.
Hold on, Dan.
What?
Ryan,
What?
pay close attention. Okay, these are here to tell people what we're doing. You ready? You listening?
I am.
Beer review.
I was hoping you played the beer preview by accident. No, fucking perfect. It's such a move. All right,
All right. So what I drank tonight?
fine, Ryan, you go. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
No, you go, Dan.
I'm drinking.
Chris, what are you drinking tonight?
I'm drinking Brighter Days from Minglewood Brewery out of Cape Girardeau. This is
Antifreeze. If y'all
Hefeweizen.
don't cut your shit out.
This is a good representation on a classic style of hef. You get a lot of banana throughout. It's a huge compliment to the beer itself. And then the clove and the clove spices kind of really help kind of, complement the rest of the flavor. It's got a medium body mouthfeel. This is a really good.
You got a medium body.
Yeah, I do. Title of your sex tape. If you ever get a chance to find these guys down in southern Missouri, I would recommend checking them out.
Word. Hey, Ryan, you go now.
All right. So I had Stone's Delicious.
All right, I'm drinking Davis County French Oak. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No.
All right. So Stone Delicious double IPA, which comes in 9.4%. It has very good flavor to it, actually. Very I was thinking it'd be more like alcoholic-y, but it's really not. It's excuse me. Like a serious type of flavor with a explosive aroma, and it has was it like a lemon taste?
Yeah, lemon's
I wanna say-
a hop character. There you go. Citrus.
Yeah, like a lemon and like a tropical fruit taste to it.
There you go. We're getting hop descriptors from Ryan now. He's growing.
He is. I'm so proud. It's like a proud dad moment for me.
Hey, I'm working on it. But it's not like it's bitter either. Like you know how usually like a lot of your double IPAs are more have like a bitter aftertaste. This one definitely does not have
Double
it.
IPA or double dry hopped?
This is a double IPA.
Okay, so it is a boozy one.
And it's West Coast, obviously, with it being Stone.
Stone.
Yeah.
It's going to depend on when they put the hops in the boil.
Could be
right?
juicy. Yep, exactly.
It could be juicy. Yeah, like, they could have put them in 15, 20 minutes before.
Give you a lot of flavor out of it.
Yeah.
Later in the
Yeah.
boil, there's an arc, basically. You go from bitter, the early part of the boil, and then it slowly goes down to flavor, and then as you get to the end and to dry hop, you're in aroma territory.
Oh, I learned something.
You did. Happens a lot here. We're an educational show.
Most
Yeah.
Thursdays.
I was almost brewing while we were doing the episode, but then I wasn't. One day I'll do that.
One day.
All right, Chris, what are you drinking?
All right, Davis County French Oak again. This is a Lux Row brand. Sales on these are about $50. So checks it at 96 proof. A lot of brown sugar with a really just kind of like a soft pepper and a really like I would call it a moderate sweet oak on the nose. You can definitely smell the barrel char. You can definitely get the influence of the barrel on the nose, but the bourbon characteristics underneath. Front of the palate definitely starts off as like vanilla saltwater taffy. And fades into brown sugar, a little bit of a peppery note in the middle, and then the French oak characteristics start to show up where it's not a dry oak, it's definitely more of a sweet, like full, oak type note there. It does come through and provide a little bit of baking spice at the end. Not drying by any means. 96 proof keeps the flavor there, but it's definitely not hot at all. Finish is really, really clean. You get a lingering oak finish on the tongue. Really hangs out on the sides of the tongue, or more specifically versus drying out the whole mouth. Overall, it's one of my favorite bottles, honestly. Like, I think a lot about if I were to just get rid of all my bourbon and start over, what would be the first bottles I'd put in here, and this would definitely be one of the first 5 or 6. Especially if you're looking for different types of oak finishes. There's not a lot of those that are necessarily regularly available. You get a lot of double oak, but you don't get a lot of variance in your oak. It's pretty much this, and then the closest competitor would be like Maker's 46, which is a French oak bourbon. So
46. Delicious.
there you go. That's the review. All right, let's hit auto draft and see what happens.
Sounds good.
Oh, Jesus. It overcompensated for wide receiver. We got Michael Thomas, though.
Hey!
Hey,
Value.
All
Did
I
we
don't
get
care. We
Derek
won the
Carr, too?
draft. Whatever it is, we won the draft.
You. All right, so after we did that with Tua, when we hit auto draft, we ended up with Rondale Moore in the 12th, Chase Claypool, Jaden Reed, which both of those are guys that I would not. Jaden Reed I like as a rookie because it is
The wide receiver one in Green Bay.
It is Dynasty. He could be the one in Green Bay. There's a lot of, I like some of the upside that's there. So, I don't hate that. Probably would have went. I see that both Jalen Hyatt and Jonathan Mingo went after him. Those are both guys that I would have liked more. Keishon Butte went after him. Those are some guys that I would have liked more. Even John Mechie, who, was highly rated last year and then didn't play, obviously, for health reasons. He didn't go until round 16. That's another guy I probably would have taken over a Jaden Reed, being a high round draft pick year before and being available there, younger guy. So, let's see. After Claypool, Jaden Reed, we ended up with Zamir White, which
It's a Ryan pick.
I hate. That.
That's for you, Ryan. Zamir
Thank
White.
you. I finally get someone I wanted.
Waiting for it.
Which I don't like that. Guys that went after him, where's the Anaconda? Chase Edmonds,
I like that.
Gus Edwards, Kenny McIntosh, Sean Tucker.
We got Gus. We even got Dobbins as handcuff.
We didn't get Gus. Those are guys that went after Zamir White. Zamir White's the only other back we got. We got Michael Thomas in the 16th round. He went with Josh Palmer, Tyler Boyd. He went
Tyler Boyd? Oh, he went after. Okay.
Before Mechie. No, he went right before Tyler Boyd. Michael Thomas did.
I would have liked Boyd too.
We did not end up with a second tight end out of the draft. Our kicker ended up being Harrison Butker, which is not bad. If you want the whole draft after that, so Sky Moore, Zeke, Singletary, Samaje P. Ryan, Gainwell, Jeff Wilson Jr., coming around the turn, Darnell Mooney, Wan'Dale Robinson, McKinnon, Tank Bigsby, Dawson Knox, Leonard Fournette, and then, no, I'm good. And then Rondale Moore for us, Alec Pierce, Roshan Johnson, Deontay Foreman, KJ Osborne, who, wide receiver 2 spot in Minnesota is wide open. People think it'll be Addison, but that could be a slow burn. Michael Gallup, Donovan Peoples-Jones, or Smith, Romeo Doubs, Edwards-Helaire, Jalen Warren. Trey Lance went in the 13th round.
I think they forget. Brian, that's value in the 13th round. I don't give a fuck what you say.
For a bust? Yeah, sure.
Jerome Ford, Raheem
I could trade him for
Mostert,
Jared Goff right now.
Chuba. Daniel Jones went round 14. Trey Lance went ahead of Daniel Jones. And
Two went in the 11th round. That
Kirk
right there
Cousins.
wins it
That
all.
invalidates everything. I don't even want to talk about the rest of this.
It does. This whole draft's invalid because you didn't have any other QBs go. They knew something that we didn't know.
Apparently.
Apparently.
All right, we're starting
We
back
missed
at
it
the
all.
third round. No, we're not.
All right, starting all over again, guys. Nope.
And that's the show. Thank you guys for tuning in. We will, we'll be back next
See
week.
you next week.
Yes. Yes, at some time next week we will see you.
Okay, bye.
Goodbye.
Later.